Hello, Leo. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Welcome to your 2-month forecast. This will take you through the remainder of November, all the way through December, giving you what you need to basically navigate the end of this year. I want to also begin just by expressing gratitude. I am well aware that this is later than usual. It's coming because of health challenges that I had. I was on some major antibiotics, steroids, and also antihistamines this month because I had a really bad infection that went from my sinuses to my ear, and I was pretty much just in bed for most of the month resting. So thank you for giving me the time that I need. I'm a human being. I have to sort of recalibrate and recover just like the rest of us and try to set a good example. So the good news is we'll switch this around, and you'll be towards the beginning when I'm doing things next time, because I'll go in the traditional order of the zodiac, so everything should work out in the end. All right, let's begin. Apollo is in the background resting, holding some space for us. You know that I always like to begin with channeled messages. Today is no exception. As I was focusing on dreams and meditation, there was one central image that came through, and that was an egg that was starting to crack open, getting ready to hatch. And in those moments, just before like a little bird breaks through, there's struggle, there's a little frustration. But then after that, growth, freedom, something taking flight. So as we're wrapping up the last 45 days or so of this year, there could be that moment where you're thinking, gosh, when is this going to happen? And it's so close, you can almost taste it. The important thing here is to persevere and to give yourself that final push, because I did see the egg opening. I did see something taking flight, and that's auspicious. The challenge here could also be for some of you, the crack could represent an area of your life that needs to be strengthened. Just like me, it could be health, could be your finances. Maybe something's going on in a core relationship that's creating a little bit of stress. Whatever the figurative crack could be in your life, that needs to be sorted out so you can focus on birthing, releasing, and creating something new in the new year. At the very least, it could be something that you're trying to put on your sort of New Year's resolution list. But when I think of the symbolism of an egg, it's absolutely connected to an Ace of Pentacles. You can either connect that to like a seed, an egg, or something of that nature. And all of these things require a little bit of attention. And aces are only as good as the follow through. So a couple of things that I want to reiterate. Don't give up. You're very close to a breakthrough moment. Take care of yourself, particularly your health. Without that, it's a house of cards and things collapse. And the other thing here is make sure that it's about investment. So how invested are you in making something happen? If you kind of double down on the vision and really nurture and allow yourself to go for it, I feel like the breakthrough will happen even faster and easier than it normally would. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to kind of end on. The only other thing that I'm getting is a quick visual of like the nest without anything in it, so empty nest syndrome. Some of you may also be wondering like what comes after this. So legitimately and literally, it could be that, someone in your life has decided to move on and upward, and it's a good thing, like a child going to school or someone getting married or something of that nature. Or maybe your roommate moved out and you find yourself in this new space. The space now is allowing you to create something new and to be with that sort of the in-between, the liminal space. I had a daily reading recently about this. It's not always easy, but it's important. Sit with yourself for a little bit, sit with the space, and ask yourself, what do I want to put next in the mix here? And I think that's a really nice way to kind of look out towards the new year. And as we look at the cards today over this 45-day period, what I want to pay attention to is what is it that is ready to be birthed? What is it that you're holding on to? And are there any cracks in the foundation? I'll try to help you out wherever those things appear. Let's get started. Take a moment, if you will. Close your eyes. See a circle of light around your body, and within that circle, let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. We'll set an intention to receive guidance in the highest form to help you navigate all of the challenges and opportunities ahead. Let's take a look at your catalyst. The message is reversed, but if we look at the card, it reads abandon worry. And as you can see here, the catalyst is going to help you change your life for the better, spark a positive change. So easier said than done. Abandoning worry. It can happen with a daily sort of meditation or mantra in the morning. Sometimes even in the evening, what I try to do is give myself credit for trying. Maybe I didn't do everything perfectly. Maybe I missed something, but I did the best that I could. And as long as I do the best that I can, I figure I'll learn from this. I'm letting it go. I need to get some sleep. Tomorrow is a reset. You want to go into the energy of tomorrow with the Fool, like letting go of stuff and only taking what's necessary. There's a time and a place to think about what might happen, and you can use that to plan, like have a rainy day plan, a contingency plan. But if you put too much focus on the things that could go wrong, you don't allow yourself to also embrace the things that could go right. So maybe that will help you shift things around a little bit. But we'll periodically go back to this, but I want to kind of set up the spread and get started here. So everything here represents November and what's left of this month. This is December. Right here we have the karma, we have the destiny card here, and 2 takeaways. Something that will bridge the 2 months, something that could block you, and we just talked about the catalyst. Let's get into karmic energy first. In the karma, things are looking pretty good here. Queen of Cups in the upright position is about creativity, letting things flow in the direction that they need to and not getting in the way. She's trusting her heart. She's not putting too much energy here. Queen of Wands, she's here. Queen of Cups, she's in the heart space. So allow things to flow and then let them go. Just like I was talking about with the worry stuff. Let the emotions go through you and don't carry them through to the next day. This can also represent heightened intuition. For some of you, you might be putting new energy into a project like I was talking about, that little egg that's ready to hatch. This can also be relationship energy. You might be focusing a little bit more on love this month. This will really stretch the 2 months, but this 45-day period. The other thing with the Queen of Cups is it can represent, for many of you, this feeling of newfound connection. If there's a passion project or an extracurricular activity that you're putting your time and energy into, this is perfectly aligned to what you should be focusing on. What I love here is she's meditating. She's focusing. She's not letting the emotions get the better of her. Rather, she's channeling them and using them to her benefit. And that's really the big takeaway with this particular card. Karmically, though, it looks like things are good. Focus on your heart, focus on your intuition. It'll lead you in the right direction. Now we're going to focus on what's left of November to make sure that you're tracking in the right direction. We'll get started first with the energy here of the past, which is just hidden under the mic. We have the Emperor coming through. This represents independence. It also represents leadership. And what I really like about this is the strategic note that we see here. So he's holding up one of those chess pieces, and this is saying that anything that you're doing, do with great planning, with great, what's the other word for this? Just intention, that's it. Planning and intention are the keys to success here. He's also willing to fight for what he wants. It looks like Mars behind him. So if there's something that you want, passionately want, we're going to carry through that passion of the Queen of Cups and follow it up with the strategic leadership of the Emperor. The other thing that I'm getting with this card is to work on confidence and work on your sort of clarity of direction. Someone may come through and ask you, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that? They're not necessarily trying to take you off your game or make you nervous. They really just want to know, are you on board? If you're confident and you're certain, then they're certain. If you're not, then they're going to get a little bit nervous. So get clear in your next move. And then when someone asks, you can say yes. Someone may also come through and say, well, how did you arrive at that? So they're just pressure testing it a little bit. And you can say, well, I considered this, I considered that, I looked at this, I did my research, show that you did your homework. Then say, again, I feel very confident about this next decision. And it can be anything in your life, whether it's who you want to marry, where you want to go to school, what you want to buy or sell. Whatever's going on, someone may come through and just want to know why. And if it's their business, you can answer. And if it's not, you can just tell them, hey, I'm doing what I need to do. You focus on you, right? The other thing with this is someone may try to come in and see if you have boundaries and if you want to be in the driver's seat. So ask yourself if you want to lead or if you want to follow. This is leaning towards the leadership, and it feels like you have the capacity to do that. One of my favorite leadership cards is often the King of Cups. So If we take that Queen of Cups sensitivity and apply her to the Emperor, it's kind of that energy. Sensitivity, creativity, but also this sense of, hey, this is what I want. So I think all of that will help you in your personal projects, your personal development, any sort of healing that needs to take place. And that takes us to the present here. So let's take a look here and see what we've got. We have the Hanged Man, which is an interesting card because it's saying slow and steady wins the race. Make sure you're looking at things from all different angles. You may need to buy yourself some extra time. Maybe you're feeling a little bit rushed, a little bit pushed, and you could ask and say, you know what? I'd love to have a chance to explore this or to dig in a little bit deeper and make sure that we've looked at all of the potential things that we need to. And there may be people in your life that are rushing you because just they want to, or there's a budgetary concern, or, any number of reasons. And this is saying you will be happy that you didn't give in to that sort of pressure. If you're given an unexpected delay, let's say you're traveling and you have a layover somewhere or a detour or whatever, maybe there's a connection there, like a personal connection that you're going to make. Or maybe that extra time that you have will give you a chance to reconsider something that you're working on. In your life, if you're going to make a major shift or move, make sure you sleep on it. Give yourself a couple of days. Slow, steady, and again, strategic as we look at this Emperor card. These are the things that will help you from making a mistake or repeating a pattern. And since this is launching in the middle of retrograde here in November, it's important to make sure that you're looking at it from another perspective. Getting an outside perspective as well. Make sure someone proofs it. Make sure that there's a set of legal eyes that look at this. Get a lawyer to approve any sort of contracts. This will help you. Anything that you feel like you can take a shortcut on this month, don't. Much better to kind of, like I said, slow, steady, and strategic. That's really what's necessary. It's not always fun, but that's what the cards are showing. There is a payoff here, though, as we're looking at the future. So towards the end of the month, we see, again, 90%. You're nearly there. This card often represents mental fatigue. Typically, there's someone with a bandage around their forehead, looking a little forlorn. She's a little bit more confident, which I like, and we can lean into that. But sometimes there's a mental block. Sometimes there's an energetic fatigue that's setting in. Take a day off if you need to. Take your time if you need to. Most importantly, see it through. Whatever you need to do to fill up that sort of energetic tank within you, recharge your battery, do that, and then finish what you started. From a health perspective, mental health is really important here. How you're managing your stress. One of the cracks that I saw there could be like concentration, stress management, emotional health and well-being. So take care of all of that. Ultimately, though, this is a very good card, and it shows me that no matter what comes your way, you have the tenacity, the perseverance, and most importantly, the skill to get through this. Okay? Let's go and take a look at the takeaway for this month, and it's really, really good. All of these are fine. This is the only challenging one. And like I said, the Hanged Man is just about a different perspective, and it may help you see this. So your takeaway for the month of November is the Wheel of Fortune. It's in the upright position, and so it's showing that things should end up better than they started. And it's also asking you to look at things like money, your resources, how you're spending your time, and what you're getting back from your energetic investment in relationships, in extracurricular activities, making sure that it all balances out. This particular illustration shows someone that has a couple of dice there around her, like her necklace. And this is about saying, I'm going to take a calculated leap of faith to do this. So that's why the strategic piece is important. Take your time, look at it from all perspectives, take a break, but then come back and go forth with a sense of passion and self-worth. Ultimately, this retrograde period and what's left of November, it's actually pretty favorable for you. You may finally know what it is that you want to do. Take some time to meditate. If you don't normally do that, meditation can take so many forms, from literally sitting there and meditating to writing, drawing, taking a walk, just sitting and being with yourself for a second and thinking, how do I feel? What do I want? You can write it out if you need to. That is really going to help you make an impact and make decisions that are deliberate. The deliberate and sort of planning energy of the Emperor keeps coming through as I think about this. Okay, so we're going to now take a look at what connects these 2 months here. In the connecting energy, we have the Six of Wands, but it is reversed. This is showing you that you and only you define what success means. In the upright position, we see all of these hands applauding or maybe reaching out, wanting some of your energy, some of your time. And she's there with open hands and open arms. But sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. So if you're not used to being seen, being scrutinized, having a little bit more, what's the best word for this? Just a little bit more accountability. It can feel like, I don't know if I can do this. You can do this, okay? Redefining what success means. When we're raised, oftentimes teachers, our parents, our friends, if you go to any sort of faith-based activities, all of these different people in your life push out what they think success means. You get to decide. It's different for each of us. Maybe success for you is just being the strongest, happiest, and healthiest person that you can be. Maybe it's helping the world be a better place. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's whatever it is that you're looking for. You get to decide what it is. And I'm not here to judge, nor is anyone else. So create your own calibration for that success and lean into it. This is also saying that you want to chase the right thing, not the popular thing. So the reverse Six of Wands is saying it is coming, but you may not get your flowers in the moment when you think, I deserve it. Why isn't it happening? Keep working hard. Keep putting it out there. Eventually, when everything comes into focus, all of that will be seen. But in this moment, you're being asked to lead the charge, not follow necessarily. So if you're ready and willing to innovate, to lead, that's definitely where the energy is taking you, okay? Now let's look at the potential block. It's the speed with which it's happening. So it's either happening faster or slower. The world in reverse is not the way that we thought it would be. Typically, I would read this as faster. So when something happens and you've been wanting it for a long time and you keep thinking, well, okay, well, I'll focus on this and this will happen. And then all of a sudden you get the call, you get the email. There's this moment of, is this happening? For those of you where that opportunity is knocking, answer the door when it's knocking. Yes, it's happening. There could also be something in your life that you've outgrown. And the world in reverse is saying, this world, this place, this group, it doesn't fit anymore. I need to get out there. I need to expand. This could also represent a glass ceiling. So let's say you're in a business or school or something and you want to reach higher and try something else and they're trying to push you down. You have to then crack through that egg that they're trying to keep you into and say, no, I'm ready. I got to spread my wings, okay? So it is leaning into and or creating an expansive state when otherwise there are sort of these little blocks around you. Blocks that could happen in your mind, a mental block. I can't do this. It's happening too fast. Environmental blocks, someone that doesn't want to let you go, the empty nest syndrome. Maybe just a fear of getting out of your comfort zone. But the world ultimately is the best card in the major arcana. And whatever change is about to happen or whatever it is that you are ready to do, the universe is ready to support you. It's normal to have a little bit of apprehension or fear when you're going into the unknown, but it really doesn't feel like there's any need to put too much more thought into that than you are, okay? Now let's take a look at the month ahead, December, and see what's coming forth. All right, so as we take a look at the past energy, there's a lot actually. You got two cards, they're both reversed, so let's break it down. So the first of the two cards is a Knight, and it's the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. You may be deciding to take a step back from a project, from a job, from an activity, and ask yourself, is this what I want? Am I making progress? Does it feel good? Is it worth it? I know I've been in jobs before where the pay could be good, but the trade-off when it comes to mental health and just stress on the body, it wasn't worth it. So you may be looking back at your path that you've made and asking, am I still going in the direction that I want? Does it fulfill me still? And if not, do I need to take a pivot? Maybe you'll say, yes, it feels good, but you need, at the very beginning of December, you owe it to yourself to at least recalibrate and say, how do I feel about this? And beneath it, we have a card of manifestation. It also came through reversed. The Three of Wands in reverse is saying there might be an easier way than you're currently looking at, because this is a card of perspective. We see her at the beach. Normally, he's at the top of a hill looking at ships coming in. No matter what, if you're looking in a different direction, your perspective changes. If the ships are coming in here, but you're looking over there, you may miss them. So remember to look in all directions and open yourself up to different ways of doing it. Getting out of your comfort zone is really important. What I like about this Three of Wands is the surfer carries the boat. She's not waiting for someone. She's the agent of change and movement. You may be looking at your finances and saying, I need more or I want more. You might be looking at divesting something because you want to be able to do something else. So again, getting strategic about that is important, but ultimately, Three of Wands shows me that where there's a will, there's a way. And part of the reason that Hanged Man existed in the previous month was to help you see this. So if we take a look here, this is helping you see, it's almost like these two are looking at each other. So when you look at it from a new angle, you'll say, oh, I could do that, but I might need to move something around. It's going to cost some time, some energy, or some money. And ultimately, it's worth it, but you have to get behind that if you're ready. All right, let's take a look at what's coming through in the present for the month of December. We have the Two of Swords in reverse. You're being shown someone's true colors, or you're being shown the wizard behind the curtain. Something looked one way, but now you realize it's something else. And the realization that something isn't what you thought it could be, sometimes we just want to put those blindfolds back on, but they're coming off. Lean into what you see and what you know. This is also telling you that there's more than what meets the eye. Don't accept something on the surface. Always go a little bit deeper. If there are two options in front of you and neither feels good, look for a third. This is an illusion. It feels like there's a block, but there isn't. It's about trusting this, and if you need to, embarking on a new path, okay? Ask questions. Two of Swords is an inquisitive card. If someone says you can't do it, say why. You can do all of the things that I was just talking about in the previous one. Have we explored this? Have you considered this? Why are we saying no before we've had a chance to explore this? So get inquisitive, stand up for yourself. Also, it's a great time to do research and dig in a little bit more to see if you've missed something, okay? And then this is ultimately helping you take a look at change and opportunity here in the future. So December, especially as we're looking at that changing point from December to January, is about out with the old, in with the new, death and rebirth. The card is reversed, which is saying that for some of you, you've reached a moment where things might be stagnating just a little bit in your work, in a relationship, in your personal development. And it's time to break through, crack through that, just like we saw with the egg. Ends are also beginnings, and this is my favorite death card because it shows both death, rebirth. And the angel of death here is showing you a window to the opportunity. Now is the time to reap the rewards of the hard work that you've done. If there's any part in your life where you're stagnating, the death card reminds you that you're not helping yourself, you're not helping others by doing so. Now is the time to release and to embrace the unknown. Let's take a look at the monthly takeaway here, and we have 10 of Cups in the reverse position. This can represent peer and familial pressure in your life. Your friends, your family, the people around you that know you the best. But they also think they know the best for you, and only you can decide, as we talked about, what your path should look like. So that Six of Wands in reverse can represent trying to make someone proud or happy. But the question that Spirit's asking you is, does that also make you happy? Because you shouldn't have to do something that sacrifices your own health or happiness just to achieve love or support from someone. That's conditional love. So push back on any sort of familial or peer pressure, and also ask yourself, when it comes to the relationships that you're spending the most time on or in, if you're getting what you're putting in. Because this Knight of Pentacles in reverse shows that some of you may be feeling this sense of, you're not really seeing me, or we're not really growing. And for some of you, that it might be time to go in a different path or direction. You may also be looking to expand your circle of friends, or if you're in a relationship, you might be thinking of making it official, or getting married, or starting a family. This is asking you and the other person, are we where we need to be? Okay? But ultimately, you get to also define what these two cards mean. What success means, the Six of Wands, which was the connector. And again, it was reversed, so it's saying don't let other people impose their version of success on you. And then what does family look like? It isn't always the blood relatives. It can be friends, it can be neighbors, it can be a pet. All of those things in your life also constitute connections. So Invest in the people that also invest back into you and love you unconditionally. All right, now let's take a look at the Destiny card. We have the Seven of Cups in the reverse position. This is one of the only cards that I pulled up today that's a little foggy. And I mean, the Two of Swords can kind of be a part of this, but what happens with the Seven of Cups is this. It's the math meme that I love to put on the screen from time to time. What about this? What about that? And you have so many things in front of you that you get paralyzed with options. It's important to narrow it down just a little bit. Whatever you're trying to do, you're spreading yourself or your thoughts a little bit too thin, and we need to focus. Decision time is coming just around the corner. Right after this card, Judgment could be coming in saying, what do you want? I was mentioning, Spirit really wants you to know what you want. And I think it's important to figure it out. When you know what you want, it's almost like you're unstoppable because you're going to see the synchronicity, embrace it, and you're not going to second guess if you're ready or if you're deserving. There may be something that is obtuse or unclear. If someone presents something to you and you don't have any idea what they're talking about, you're in this moment of the Two of Swords, hit the brakes and say, could you clarify? You can also be asking yourself, why or what am I doing? Why am I doing this or what am I doing? And if you can't quite answer that, it might be time to get some advice, take a step back, or try a different path. So I see some, for many of you, it's a little bit of soul searching, and then maybe you're going to find something that you haven't done already. Two of Swords could be identifying a third path, especially when connected to the Hanged Man. So why don't we expand this a little bit deeper? And we'll get into all of that. We're going to look at health, wealth, and love to help you break down all of these pivotal categories in your life. So I'm going to pull some cards and we're going to dig deeper. Health, wealth, and love. All of these were reversed, so there's definitely some recalibration happening here. We're going to start off first with the energy of health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. So for some of you, there's some inner child healing, something from the past, an experience that kind of stuck with you, and you're finally ready as an adult to look back at it and heal yourself. And that's really what we see as a person, as a child, as an adult, looking back and not judging themselves or maybe someone else so harshly, because through the lens of experience, things make a little bit more sense. If there was something that was done and you didn't feel supported, you can reach out for the support, you can talk to someone, you can let them know how you felt. This one is very much giving a little bit of that Five of Pentacles, but elevated here because it's through the lens of love. I just want to heal, I just want to release. There might also be a connection coming back from the past. We had this Queen of Cups energy coming forth. It could be a water sign, or it could just be you reconnecting with someone that you love, an old friend, an old neighbor, maybe even a estranged family member. Whatever or whomever it might be, it looks very positive. And if you are looking for relationship energy, we'll be talking about that in a moment. This is auspicious. Six of Cups comes through for sibling energy, but also for best friend energy. And so if you're looking for a love interest, you want to have someone that feels like they're your best friend. So I quite like what I see here. Give the inner child a chance to have some fun. We saw a lot of cards about work, about change, about development. When was the last time you had some fun? Make some time now, okay? Now let's take a look at this from a broader perspective and see what the challenges may be over these 2 months. Okay, so looking at what's left of the month of November. The Hanged Man can be, you have two cards here that show stagnation. The Hanged Man is saying, for some of you, just need to slow down. Some of you may just feel stuck. So depending on which end of the spectrum you're at, if you need to slow down, do so. If you're stuck, then what you might want to do is something creative, because this card helps you channel some of those feelings into something productive. Also, what I'm getting with this particular illustration is to focus on your foot, your ankle, and again, any lack of movement that you might be having in your body. Gentle exercise is necessary. It helps from multiple perspectives, mental health, but also just like helps you detox, helps you sweat, helps you build strength. So whatever feels right for your body, a little bit of exercise is coming forth. Some of you may be taking care of an older person in your life, older parent, older sibling, or someone that needs some help. This could slow you down, but I do think it's going to be worth it. Maybe, again, for some of you, this is healing a familial wound, and you're kind of, giving back for someone that supported you. If you need help, though, hire some help or get some help, because this is also a lot to take on. So just make sure you've done the research. Looking a little bit forward into the month of December, this is where a lot of things are starting to shake up a little bit. First of all, the Two of Swords in reverse is saying anything that's going on in your health, if it feels a little bit, out of balance, deal with it in real time. Don't wait a week. Don't wait a day. Like, go to the doctor today. Talk to someone now. It's nothing to be fearful of. It's just like, I'm going to take charge of my health and find out how I can deal with this. If this is an issue, get a second opinion if I'm not feeling seen or heard. And that's important. And it feels like you're on the precipice of a breakthrough, making a big change. The Death card can be you completely overcoming a challenge, whether it was a fear, an inhibition, an addiction, or some sort of a block that you had. You're able to get through that. This can also be a wake-up call. This is the first one. It's saying slow down. And if you don't, you'll be slowed down by spirit. You could get sick, or you could just have something happen where your doctor or someone around you says you need to slow down or else. Take the wake-up call. Take care of yourself. This is a moment where it's really important to really tune in to your physical well-being and your mental well-being. To that end, speaking of cognitive things, Seven of Cups can be confusion or difficulty in concentrating. And sometimes that's because you don't understand the task in front of you. There could also be a lot going on in your life. And give yourself time to meditate and not do so much. Delegate. Just like the Seven of Wands, it's about working smarter. There are too many things on your plate. You would benefit from working with friends, delegating to coworkers, leaning on the support of a counselor. Like, you don't have to do this alone. I think that's one of the big takeaways here, okay? Let's move forward to the next portion, which is going to look at wealth. This is your resources, life purpose, and career. All right, so in the energy of wealth, we have a great card. Actually, one of the best ones in the minor, except the court cards. Ten of Pentacles. You will realize the goal that you are currently setting forth to complete, but you want to make sure that it's worth the sort of there's trade-offs. Let's put it that way. So make sure that you're supported. This is one of the cracks in the foundation that I'm seeing. There may be too much focus on the money, on the attention, on doing it perfectly. I have no doubt that you can do this. But when you start to put too much, any of the tens when they're reversed become pressure. And there's too much of an emphasis on success, money, expectations, or other people's approval. So it's nice to have, it's a not need to have. The other thing that I'm looking at with this is when it comes to negotiation, never sell yourself short. This is one of the most valuable cards I can pull, okay? Even or especially if parents or people around you don't see it. Because when I'm looking at the overall spread, there are people in your life that don't get it. As long as you get it, that's all that matters. Remember what I talked about with this. Now let's kind of recalibrate this. We're going to start off in all the multiple categories, breaking it down. If you have a job, here's what I see. The month of November, what's left of it looks pretty good. We have the Wheel of Fortune as the takeaway. But prepare yourself for some unexpected delays. Be ready to answer to a boss or to someone else like, why are you doing this? Or, things of that nature. Advocate for a delay if you need to do the right thing. I see a lot of success. Finish what you've started, work hard, take the breaks as necessary. We have a lot more to talk about in the month ahead, however. In December, there's a few things. First of all, there could be another opportunity, Three of Wands coming through. Do you have the bandwidth for it? If you're thinking of doing a second job or a third job, or you're thinking of going back to school, there's something else that you're putting into your schedule. I like it, but make sure that you don't burn yourself out. That could be the wake-up call. So it might be better to pace yourself. Like if you're going back to school, take fewer credit hours. It'll take longer, but you'll do a better job and both at work and in the class, and you'll have more to take away in the long run. Taking that piece out of it. These are interesting. What I'm getting in my mind's eye and in my head as I'm listening is like, I don't wanna. There might be someone around you that doesn't want to hear it from your perspective, and they just dig their heels in. This is when you lean on a larger support team. So have you noticed the big thing that I'm seeing here? Six of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. These are all people cards, and they're beloved people cards. So You can do more in numbers, power in numbers. Have some coworkers speak up with you. Have some other people, sort of like support whatever it is you're trying to put out there. If you need to unionize or get a larger group together to protest something, do that. Taking that out of the equation, the other thing that I see here is this feeling of I'm not appreciated and I'm stuck. You might have reached the glass ceiling. It starts to come into focus in November, but by the time December hits, you're like, either we're going to go in this direction or I'm just going to make peace with this. I think you're worth looking at other options, other avenues. But because we're looking at the end of the year, at least have the conversation. You have a good chance of getting what you're asking for. It may require a move. The World card is showing that if you wanted to stay at the same company, you might have to transfer to a different office or division, for instance. Ask questions. You never know until you put that out there, okay? Overall, pretty good. Don't burn yourself out. And don't take the first no when it comes to someone that's stubborn. This is particularly like a rubber stamp approval. They just want it one way. Just say, take a second look at this, or maybe have a conversation with this person. I think you might be missing something. Advocate for yourself, okay? Let's move on to entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, November has been a pretty good month overall, but with the Hanged Man, things could either be slowing down a little bit, and in this case, you want to get strategic, particularly about the next month, to make sure that you're not overextending yourself. There might be something that you need to say, you know what, I see that there's a change in the market. I don't think we should order that until we've done this. So balance out that, look at your checkbook and make sure that you're not spending too much. I think that's important. Globalization might be coming through. You might be deciding to expand. Again, doing so in a calculated and sort of conservative way, I think is important. There's a new opportunity. I like this quite a bit for you. I think there's something that needs to give here. The Death card could represent someone that needs to quit. You might be ending a product. You might be deciding to try something completely different, and there's people around you that don't get it. Entertain the questions and get them on board. That's the only way that this is going to launch forward. If there's any part of your business that is in a sort of stagnation period, it might be, again, time to focus and innovate beyond that. It looks like you can see this coming, so you don't have to immediately, toss something out, but I think you're getting into a 3-month pivot here where there might be something new that's going to launch either in February or March. So this is why you might have to be juggling a couple things at once. What I love about this spread is, again, there's a lot of people energy between the 10 of Cups and 6 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. So it feels like you should really lean into customer appreciation, into, of course, employee appreciation. And in doing so, I think there could be some good word of mouth, okay? Don't be afraid to invest in the business. Just do so in a way that is wise. That's what I'm getting with this. Moving onward to job seekers. Whatever's left of November is better than December. We have the option to land a job here, and it's a little competitive, and you may have to wait until the end of the month, but it looks pretty solid. Age and experience play a big part of this, so make sure you lean into how that helps you rather than hiding it, and advocate. We've got 10s, 3 10s here, because the Wheel of Fortune is the number 10. We have the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. So I really think that when it comes to negotiation time, make sure that you are not underselling yourself. You may not get everything that you want. It might be 10% less, but you can get 90% of what you want. So really go for that. Advocate for yourself. Again, just like those that are employed, you might need to move or travel for the job. Ask about upward mobility and long-term sort of growth. That's the only sort of caveat that I'm seeing, and something that you might get is that it may be more of like a temporary or transitional role. Looking at this just from the lens of December, actually after the second week, not a lot is happening. If you want to land something, it has to really happen between the first couple of weeks. You can still plan, you can still put things out there, but it's probably going to sort of like come through in the new year. That doesn't mean you should stop. I'm just setting expectations. If you want to try something new, try something new. This is a card of dreaming, daydreaming, and exploring, and lean into your existing network. That's a better place to go for job opportunities in December. You can find something on your own in November, but December you really need to lean into the network, okay? Looking at those who are students. Overall, I pretty much like what I see here in the month of November. It does feel like you're working hard, that you're getting a lot out of what you're doing. Slow down just a little bit. Make sure that before you turn something in, you've proofread it. You might miss something. Just don't rush. That's the main takeaway here. Interestingly enough, as we're looking at the end of the year, and I think I've seen this for some other signs, some of you are wondering, is this what I want to do? We're in an interesting period where the world is changing. There are emerging technologies, job industries, and jobs in general that used to be something that you could depend on. You might have to be a little bit more flexible on. And so this is saying, before I graduate, whether I have 1 semester, 1 year, or I just started, what can I do to plan for the changes that I'm seeing now? Maybe getting a little bit more of a general minor to help you out with it. I think things like business can help out. Psychology can help out. We don't have any communication cards here, but rounding out your major so that you can use it in more than one industry. I think that's a really smart thing for new students out there. You need a break. I mean, we're almost at the end of the year. Don't give up, but if you need some help, ask. I just see a little bit of burnout here and a little bit of confusion. You might be doing more than you need to on a project or in a class. So ask if everything that you're doing is necessary. We have a decent outcome here, but with Death and Rebirth, it really is looking at the next year and saying, I need to change things up a little bit. Whether you're changing up your schedule or your major, lean into the change. Finally, retirees. That's the most important card. Life is finite. This is the time to try things that you've never done before, because if not now, then when? It feels like the focus here for you could be on traveling to a new part of the world or trying something like a new skill, not sort of like learning something that you haven't learned before and keeping the mind active. Also, a lot of interaction with other people. So connecting with new people, using your creativity and asking yourself, why am I not going for this? Could I travel? Could I explore a path that I haven't before? The only thing that's a little bit challenging in this period of time is, for some of you, it's the fear of the unknown. And for some of you, it's just like things are changing in the world faster than you thought. You have what it takes to navigate these changes. I think that it's really important as we get older and as we retire to continue to trust that, that we're smart, that we're capable. And I think back to my mom. She had an iPad, she had a phone. She was constantly keeping up with news, events, and technology. And she said, I want to be a part of this world right now. The world is changing, but you can very much be a part of it. You could ask yourself, what's the legacy or what's the impact that I can make? Because we're in a moment in time where we really need people to help out and lean in and assist. So if you want to step into that role of mentorship or teaching or being a leader, this is a great time for that. Finally, let's take a look at love and relationships and see what's coming forth. We have a really interesting card here. It represents basically saying no if you need to, righting a wrong, saying I'm sorry. Some of you may just decide, I've had enough. This can be a card of just cutting ties. Justice reversed is very much creating an equilibrium where it didn't exist before. There has to be equal give and take. And if there isn't, you can advocate for yourself. What I love about this is it shows that there's two sides to every story and that it's just as powerful to say no as it is to say yes. Her eyes are wide open and she's clear on why she's doing what she's doing. So speak your truth, very much is the truth of this one. Let's go ahead and break this down into 3 categories. If you're currently in a relationship, what I like about the energy of November is it feels like there's a lot of love, a lot of strength, and together you can get whatever you need to get done. The key pressure seems to be financial, but communication seems to be open. It's the better of the 2 months. As we look at December, one of the challenges here is this feeling stuck. It could be stagnation in the relationship. Even when there's a very positive, strong relationship, over time, sometimes things get a little bit stale. And one of the things that you can do is just show that you see the value of the partner. I see you, I love you, I appreciate you. There could also be some differing opinions on how to save and spend for the future. Again, finances playing an important role here. Maybe some differing opinions on the next stage for the family. Should we expand the family? Is it time? Can we afford it? All of those things. And ultimately, some good news. Your partner's thinking about you. It looks like you're thinking about them as well. So communicate it. We don't have a lot of swords in front of us. Do we have any? None. Except the Two of Swords. It's not a great communication card. So we need to take one of those swords away and talk. With the Justice card reversed, it's really asking, are you in or are you out? So if you've been in a longer term relationship and you haven't made it official, this is the month or the 45-day period when it feels like you're going to do that. And it really does feel like the month in particular would be by December. Many of you just want to know, what am I going into in the new year? Is this something I can depend on? And if not, it's okay. And if you've been in a long-term relationship and you've kind of had your fill, that's okay. Justice in reverse has looked at it from all angles. I think it's important in November to give space to one another, to give them an opportunity to come through, to state your expectations so they're not trying to read your mind. Then and only then decide. Because it's either moving on, moving up, or moving out. That's the World and that's the Death card, and that's Justice as well. Okay? For most of you, I think it's moving up. But if you need to move on or if you need to move out, you'll be fine too. Okay, Justice is a very strong card. All right, moving onward to single and looking. If you're single and looking, I think the easiest time to meet someone could be in the month of November. A water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces could be coming through. There might be a small age or maturity gap between the two of you. Doesn't look like it's more than 9 years, but slow down, take your time. Feel it out, see if it feels right for the two of you. It does look pretty favorable. Also, just outside of that, there's a lot going on in your social calendar with your finances, with work, with personal development. So you're going to be busy. December's a little bit better for you when it comes to busyness. Things are slowing down. But when it comes to looking for love, maybe not that easy. One thing to do, though, is to kind of go to those work and friend parties. There's a place where you might be able to meet someone. But other parts of your life are kind of like requiring more of your attention. And so I really feel like it's much easier in the month of November. There could be a Scorpio coming through, but the important thing here is, are you looking for the same thing? With the Two of Swords and the Death card in reverse, I really get a feeling that there's just differing opinions, kind of like your different points in your life. So I think the important thing here is maybe to lean a little bit more into getting your schedule, your finances, and your life in order, moving towards this new path, goal, or opportunity presented in the Three of Wands, and have some fun with friends and family. November is the month where you're probably going to have the greatest success. If you do meet a Scorpio, it's going to be by surprise. So that's why I was like, just go to other events and be open and don't rush it. Ask a lot of questions, take your time. In either of these 2 months, take your time. Don't rush into anything. Finally, if you're single and happy, good for you. I think that's the easiest thing to be right now, is single and happy. You may be focusing a little bit more on legal matters. You might be trying to decide for yourself, like when you're looking at am I in or am I out? It could be a major life decision. Am I ready to take this leap of faith? Do I want to make an important move? Is there something in my life that I feel like it's missing? What can I do? You're asking those internal questions. Very much a time for personal development. What I like, though, is we have a couple of really nice cards with money. This one, though, is particularly kind of inviting you to go in a new direction. You might have to move or travel in order for something to come through. Being that you're untethered, that might be a little bit easier, okay? Let's go ahead and move to the final question for today. So I want you to think of one thing that you still need some clarity on. I'm going to give the cards a shuffle, and we'll see what Spirit has to say. You received the Hermit in reverse. If you asked a yes or a no question, the answer is a yes. However, it may be necessary for you to come out of your shell a little bit and speak up. Say, this is what I want. This is what I need. Outside of a yes or no, the other thing here is this is a perfect opportunity for you to learn something new and to go a little bit deeper. One thing that is also coming through with the Hermit in reverse is it won't take as much time as you need. You're closer than you think. So if you're putting all of this energy, like, I got to know this and I need to have this, and it's a little bit easier than you think. You don't want to spend too much time in the research mode. You don't want to spend too much time in the background, and you shouldn't be afraid to speak up. Put yourself out there, let it go, see what the universe presents, and if that doesn't work, keep planting different seeds. One of them will hatch. One of those eggs will hatch, like I saw. And sometimes you have to take that lantern and light the way and show someone. Say, well, this is why I want to do this. You could take it a step further if they're like, I don't know. You're going to embrace these two cards together, the Emperor and the Hermit. Advocate for yourself, shine a light on it, and if they're still not on board, do it yourself. This is also entrepreneurial. Some of you just are thinking, I don't want to spend any more time or energy with you or on that. I want to do this instead. So if you want to do that, absolutely. Have some fun, lean into that activity or that vision, and don't let the vision go. Fight for it, okay? Thank you so much again for your patience, for your kindness in giving me extra time to do this. If you enjoyed this, I'd love for you to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. You can also show some love and support by becoming a member. And if you want to put a sticker with your comment as well, thank you in advance. You can follow me across other social media platforms to make sure that you never miss out when I do videos just like this. And if you'd like to give me a donation on PayPal, you can do that through this link here. And it's also in the sort of description area. Or you can go to my website where all of the information is provided, nicholasashbaugh.com. And I would just like to say, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this. You can also show up every day for my daily videos and every Sunday for a weekly collective. And until I see you again, wishing you the best. Take special care. Bye-bye.